Welcome to another episode of the All Tens Podcast. I'm your co-host, Josh West. With me, as always, Clay Harris. And today, Clay, we're being joined by yet another special guest. She brings years of marketing and sales experience and currently serves as the president and CEO of the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the pod, Rebecca Dickenson. Welcome, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, obviously, you're from Clay's neck of the woods out there. Talk to us a little bit about the chamber, your experience with EOS, and also your time with Clay.
Well, I'm thrilled to have been connected with Clay through the Chatham Chamber and having had him come to a workshop for our local business community here. At the Chatham Chamber, we're growing fast and we're keeping up with a community that's in the triangle and growing as well. So the name of the game for Chatham County right now is growth and opportunity, with more housing coming online, business commercial space coming online, and balancing what is really unique here for a county that has lots of history and unique kind of draws to it, along with growth and development along the way.
Rebecca, I think I asked in a previous conversation, but what is the catalyst? I know Chatham County is going through all sorts of crazy growth, construction happening seemingly everywhere, lots of fun new developments, businesses moving in. What's the catalyst? What is causing that to happen in your county?
Well, it's always location when it comes to things like that. But the north corner of Chatham County is just a mile away from like RTP. We're actually like really close as the crow flies to RDU, the airport here, and other major universities and innovation centers. And so as those are expanding, we've had incredible developers like those who've come in and kind of built out this master plan for Chatham Park and Pittsboro. And so we've got housing and multi-use development coming in online every year in the pipeline. And then with that comes in other investors along the way. So it starts with location, Jordan Lake, the Cape Fear River, lots of really great outdoor spaces, lots of great history on agriculture in this area, but then also growing into what it looks like to be a really meaningful part of Research Triangle Park.
Cool. Tell me more a little bit about the role the chamber plays in that. What do you guys do specifically to kind of help that go faster or better, or tell me more?
Yeah, so Chamber of Commerce is a 501c6 organization. So we represent the local business community where you've got your residential as your tax base and your homeowners as a tax base for elections. The local business community is also a tax base that you want to grow and nurture and make sure is successful for the proper ecosystem in a local community. And so with government, residents, business, we kind of bring all of it together and make sure people have the information, resources, communication that they need in order to be successful. So we're the voice of business in the community. That can look like advocating to the local elected officials on permitting issues or paying attention to water allocations. Or it can also look like bringing in people like you to teach a local business how do they grow, scale, be more successful through marketing, through EOS, through other tools like accounting and Profit First and things like that.
Rebecca, as you talk through that, for the organizations in your area that are members of the chamber, what are their greatest needs in order to grow and scale?
Now, right now in Chatham County specifically, we're looking at the ability to communicate a message because there isn't a ton of media out in this area. We have one magazine, one newspaper, but kind of making sure that we're able to share the message of what people are doing, the problems they're solving, how they're serving their customers is one piece of it. And then another is just understanding the dynamics in the community. So it's really just a matter of being in community with other business owners instead of trying to do your business alone. And we all know that as we're working together, either co-opetition with similar people or with strategic business partnerships across the county, overall, we can do better when we're growing and working together. So that's really the place where the chamber comes in to kind of make sure that everyone is kind of sharing that same information and giving each other a step ahead as we can.
when you're in this like fun position that Josh and I also find ourselves in, where we're talking with business owners or leaders of businesses just about every day. And so I know the chamber plays those strategic roles, but just from a more personal level, when you're talking with business owners or business leaders, what are the things that they're concerned about right now? One of the things that we try to do in the EOS is kind of normalize that, like, the frustration that you have is not yours. So like, I love that, like, we're in it together, but what are the things that you're hearing that people are worried about or excited about? Kind of what are you hearing? What's the pulse?
Yeah, it depends on the industry that you're in, especially for trades and development side of things. This hiring issue is a big deal. What we're finding is larger corporations might be on hiring freezes in the economy right now, or not growing and scaling their employment, but our smaller business community is trying to hire. And looking at places like LinkedIn and Indeed is not giving them the great results that they're looking for. So we're trying to help them find solutions to get credible local workers, especially when you're only hiring one or two. You're not hiring like at scale with HRs, but you're sort of playing at the 30 people or less game. And you're hiring a few a year, trying to get through 25, 50 sort of resumes that are not really qualified or aren't super interested or maybe aren't even local to your company have been really hard. So we're finding the right people to hire has been one thing, and then making sure that we're training and getting people keeping employees longer once they're trained, and helping with that retention side of things.
Yeah, perfect. You're not only like talking to business owners every day, you're building and running an organization too at the chamber, right? And I know you're versed in EOS, but tell me, what have you taken from EOS and applied at the chamber? What are you doing there?
Well, this Chamber of Commerce is currently a mighty team of two, but luckily in a growing area, we have big growth goals ourselves. And so right now we've been really tidying up back of house things internally. So, I mean, you can't even know how excited I just got about a brand new chart of accounts to fit all the current products and everything that we've rolled out. Like, it's just getting the accounting side of things getting cleaned up is more exciting than I thought it would be. But that being said, for EOS, our hope is, right now we're implementing an L10 strategy for even just two people meeting together, right? But we're in the same office. We co-work. We're sharing the same space. So when we come together for a meeting once a week, we could skip it because we're together all the time. But since we are hosting it, we don't have to think about an agenda. We can really just pop through, make sure we're watching our scorecard, keeping each other accountable on our to-do list, solving those issues, and then moving forward the right issues at the right time based on the week. And just keeping that structure for us as a team of two helps take a lot of emotion out of what could be in a relationship with just two people, and kind of center us back in on just being partners and getting the work at hand done, no matter what else is going on in a personal life for each of us. We do tend to skip over how do you say it? What's the very beginning part?
The segue? Yeah.
We were together all the time. We tend to skip over that and just head straight into the scorecard, but it's because we've already, done that day in and day out. But that's been really helpful for us.
Rebecca, I want to stay on this topic for just a moment. And for our listeners out there, I think in general, when we talk to people about meetings, most people would say, I don't like meetings. Meetings suck. And perhaps maybe you've even been a part of some meetings that you didn't necessarily like in your past. At a high level, what is the difference between some of those meetings that you've attended in the past and now as you are running a level 10 meeting? What are the differences and advantages, if you could go a bit deeper, a little bit more detail on that?
Well, let me just take my previous chamber experience and other companies that I've been a part of and say, sometimes when you start a staff meeting or a weekly meeting, you might end up in a place where you're like, where are we? What are we doing? We're gathered here today for what? And because it's just on the calendar, you've kind of showed up in the room. And even when you put together an agenda that might be strategic for that organization that's not an L10 but may carry from week to week. If you're just going around the room and giving updates from each employee around the room, that doesn't necessarily help move the work forward. And so what I like most about that L10 meeting is that it's really just like a very quick checkup, and then it helps us actually feel productive while we're in that meeting. So it's things that we couldn't solve together that throughout the week we've kind of put on this issues list or put on the to-do list. And that once we're kind of together in the headspace, we can bring it up and solve it and talk about it right then. And that actually feels like when we leave the meeting, it's like, man, we really needed to solve those problems, or we really needed to talk about those issues together. And so it helped us, not lose the thought as well. The other thing we've really, really enjoyed is we have a lot going on. And so I had 5 different to-do lists I was managing beforehand, from sticky notes to this notebook to this place over here. And now we're able to put it in one place. So there are some issues that I know further out for this organization than I would like for them to be, but they need to be further out. And I can stick them right there, and they're just in the column. We're not going to forget them. They're going to be okay. They'll be there when they come back up. And that's been really helpful to me. That it's like, I care a lot about this issue. I'm not neglecting it. I'm just setting it. It's just right there, and it's not lost.
Man, you're a future EOS implementer, Rebecca. I don't know. You could do what we do right now. You're doing great. So that's the thing that I'm leaving this conversation feeling really good about, is that Chatham County is in good hands. You're doing great work, and like half the battle isn't just the decisions you're making, but like getting the right ones made, having the right rhythms, and so you're killing it. Spot on. I love it. We're going to wrap up the podcast. We've been so lucky to be joined today by Rebecca from the Chatham Chamber of Commerce. Rebecca, if our listeners are going to come visit Chatham County, why don't you do some shout outs real quick? Let's promote some Chatham County businesses. Who are we visiting? Maybe you don't want to call them all out by name. I recognize I'm putting you on the spot, but tell us about some great places to visit in Chatham County.
Well, we just hosted the This is Chatham bus tour. So you can go online and search hashtag This is Chatham. You'll see really great places there. We're housed out of 79 West and Mosaic with Chatham Park. There's Carolina Sunshine Alpaca Farm. There's great things in downtown Pittsburgh when you look at the plant and other places that have intentional business communities growing together, from axe throwing to sake tasting to craft beverages and distilleries, all working together in one little paved way. So I think the next time we meet, Clay, you and I should go to the plant and we'll take it from there.
I'm always down for some sake taste testing. Let's do it. Before we go, we always end up with a nugget or two, something that, man, we'd love our listeners just to think about as they turn off the radio and comprehend all the great news that they've just heard. Any nuggets to share with our listeners, Rebecca? EOS related, what's your favorite EOS tool? Should people start using it tomorrow?
Well, I would have to say that being able to stick your issues on a place where you know they're safe, but off of your shoulders, is the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. So I would encourage them to figure out how to implement that right away.
That's a great nugget. Joshy, what you got from your listening today? Give us a nugget.
Yeah, I would encourage our listeners to rewind and listen again to what Rebecca said about the juxtaposition between other meetings that she's attended and then all that she has been able to gain from running a level 10 meeting. Speaks for herself.
And 100%. My last nugget before we wrap up is that you're never too small. I know people that run EOS as one-person organizations. That burden lifting of an issues list, or just the organization of an L10, just kind of knowing what the rhythms are of your organization, whether it's one person or 1,000 people, has benefits that are hard to put your finger on, but they exist. And so, Rebecca, that was awesome. I really appreciate all the stuff that you brought to our podcast listeners today. And I want to thank them for listening. So I'm Clay, he's Josh, you're Rebecca. This is the All Tens podcast, and we're so happy that you listened to us today. Please like, rate, share, comment. If you have ideas for future guests or future episodes, please drop a note on LinkedIn. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.